Good evening, everyone. Welcome to KOTR's Knowledge and Principles. Tonight's discussion will be on magical oaths. I hope everyone enjoy the stream. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And for those that don't know, the stream is, I will always answer your questions in the live chat. And if you guys actually join me in the live stream, just send me a message and I will send you the link so you can join me here on it, on the Hangouts and the broadcast. So. For me, the magical oath kind of important in our daily practices, but also can be a hindrance, as I will get into depth and detail on. I think we should, as practitioners, understand its importance, but also understand the dangers that come with it. And I'm not going to get on the harping that I normally get on about about the silence and secrecies of things. By now, I should know my standing on that. But it is also what's hurting our communities. We'll just leave it said at that. Similar to the magic name, the magical oath also represents an obligation that a magician enters into for various reasons. In the sense of the Lima, or AA wrote, words should express will, hence the mystic name of the probationer is the expression of his highest will. There, of course, few probationers, I should say, who understand themselves sufficiently to be able to formulate their will to themselves, and therefore at the end of the probation, they choose a new name. This is something we're going to find as we go on, that dealing with magical oaths, that's where it really differs from the magical name. You can't really opt out of the oath once it's taken. It's more of a permanent thing, so we have to be careful on how we choose it. And if you realize the principles and understandings of choosing a magical name, then you understand that as we grow and change, or as we jump from one school to the next, that persona, that our personal universe may change with that aspect. So therefore our name might change. That persona. You'll still be bound to that oath that you took. Which also can play on your psychological effects. It'd be like believing in something all of a sudden and then disbelieving it. Where our minds psychologically can't grasp what we have just done. It is convenient, therefore, for the student to express his will by taking magical oaths. Since such an oath is irrevocable, it should be well considered, and it is better not to take any oath prematurely, because with increase of understanding may come a perception of the incompatibility of lesser oaths with greater. This indeed is most certain to occur, and it must be remembered that the whole essence of the will is its one-pointedness. A dilemma of this sort is the worst in which a Magus can find himself. Another great point in consideration of magical vows is to keep them in their proper place. They must be taken for a clearly defined purpose, a clearly understood purpose. Be allowed to go beyond it. There is no power which can be prized into the service of the magical will. It is only the temptation to value that power for itself which offends. One does not say, cut it down, why cumbereth the ground, unless repeated pruning had convinced the gardener that the growth must always be a rank one. If thou hand offend thee, cut it off, is a scream of a weakling. If one killed a dog the first time it misbehaved itself, not many would pass the stage of puppyhood. The best vow and the most universal application is the vow of holy obedience. For not only does it lead to perfect freedom, but is a training in that surrender, which is the last task. Surrendering myself to the great work, surrendering yourself to your reality, the reality that you see things. It has thus great value that it never gets rusty. If the superior to whom the vow is taken knows his business, he or she will quickly detect which things are really displeasing to his or her pupil and familiarize him or her with them. Disobedience to the superior is a constant between those two wills and the inferior. The will expressed in his vow, which is the will linked to his highest will, by the fact that he has taken it in order to develop the highest will, contends with the temporary will, which is based only on the temporary considerations. The teacher should then seek gently and firmly to keep up the pupil, little by little, until obedience follows command without reference to what that command may be. as Lolo wrote. Per ende ir cadere. It is always something to pluck up the weeds, but the flower itself will grow naturally with great freedom. It is not only necessary to purify the temple itself and consecrate it, invocations must be made. Hence, it is necessary to be constantly doing things of a positive, not merely of a negative nature, to affirm that will. Renunciation and sacrifice are necessary, but they are comparatively easy. There are hundreds of ways of missing, and only one way of hitting. To avoid eating beef is easy, but to eat nothing but pork is very difficult. Master Therion himself, the greatest preacher of all free magical will, places such a high value on obedience. In this modern times, marked by democratic and even anti-authoritarian ideas, it's pretty touchy subject. It cannot be denied that Crowley as a person wasn't exactly the best example for the exemplary embodiment of the principles of command and obedience. To surrender all, one must give up not only the bad but also the good, not only weakness but strength. How can the mystic surrender all while still clinging to one's virtues? It has become fashionable to counter every kind of compulsion with suspicion, with saying stay cool as the motto, and there's no place for self-restraint and asceticism. It is necessary to create a counterbalance to the rigid, ascetic, and self-chastising ideas of Christianity, misunderstood that even today modern magic still lifts its ugly Gorgot's head. For the magician who works independently and self-sufficiently, the obedience that's meant here refers to the obedience of one's own oath. To prevent a rosebud from rotting, drying up and dying off, it has to be intentionally trimmed from time to time. Although it may hurt, it will prevent worse from happening. When you take a magical oath, and this is something that you must certainly and should do at least a few times in your magical career, keep in mind that although you're binding yourself in a sense, on the other hand, it will enable you to accomplish much greater things than the mere satisfaction of your temporary state of comfort. A magician must build all that he is into his pyramid. And if that pyramid is to touch the stars, how broad must the base be? There is no knowledge or power that is useless to the magician. One might almost say there is no scrap of material in the whole universe with which he or she can dispense. His or her ultimate enemy is the great magician, the magician who created the whole illusion of the universe and met him in battle, so that nothing is left either of him or yourself. You must be exactly equal to him. At the same time, let the magician never forget that every brick must tend to the summit of the pyramid. The sides must be perfectly smooth. There must be no false summits, even the lowest layers. Practical and active form of the obligation of a master of the temple, in which it is said, I will interpret every phenomenon as particular dealing with God, with my soul. The statement that the probationer can resign when he or she chooses is in truth only for those who have taken the oath superficially. A real magical oath cannot be broken. You think it can, but it cannot. This is the real advantage of a magical oath. However, the far you go around, you arrive at the end just the same. All you have done by attempting to break your oath is to involve yourself in the most frightful trouble. It cannot be too clearly understood that such is the nature of things. It does not depend upon the will of any person, however powerful or exalted, nor can their force, the force of their greater oaths, avail against the weakest oath of the most trivial of beginners. It is therefore good practice to view the magical oath in a functional way. An oath is more than just a resolution intention. It's a voluntary bonding. So only bound yourself where you really want to be. For example, you could start with a smaller oath to do your magical training exercises regularly in the month, regardless of what external factors of resistance may arise. Making oaths, and of course keeping them, is a useful exercise to strengthen your willpower that can improve your own interpretations and subtle energy perceptions, since these automatically sharpen considerably through the required alertness, and soon you'll begin to observe how the whole universe is helping you with your great work, just as soon as you accept the first truly serious impulse within yourself. Of course, you should avoid oath infatuation. Use this powerful magical tool carefully and you'll surely be able to enjoy its tremendous advantage. But it's the truly serious oaths that will have a long-lasting, deep impact that can change your entire life. The above passage quoted from Crowley contained an example that has meanwhile become quite popular. Whoever endeavors to take the magical oath, master of the temple, in his order, was immediately promoted from the grade of neophyte right up to the highest grade. But as mentioned, such oaths can be quite dangerous and should be thought over very carefully. Now, as you guys can see, our oaths shouldn't be taken lightly, nor should they be used or used often. Each oath has its own purpose and properties for allowing us to connect our subconscious and conscious minds to the universe, to the spirit, to our spirit, allowing us to connect to the all. Certain people take oaths of secrecy. I have broke down a little bit about secrecy and silence. They have their purpose, but their purposes are and only should be within the temple or within the ritual. When you are doing ritual work or performing spell work, where you don't want other outside influences to hinder your great work, then what takes place inside the circle is to be left there as you leave. That is the only place where secrecy and silence has merit or meaning. Anything outside that should never have an oath taken to it. Our knowledge is meant to be given freely, as it has been through generations passed down from teacher to student, student becomes the teacher, passes it down to his students, and the cycle repeats. As shamanistic tribes pass down their knowledge to from ancestor to ancestor. The dangers of such oaths by misinterpreting silence and secrecy had become quite apparent in our communities. We're thusly divided. And one should take not just constant consideration, one should take months before considering to take an oath. Why? Because it gives it that much more meaning. It gives that much hold and control over you. And know what you're binding yourself to. Know how to properly word it. For wording it wrong to keep you bound to it. And therefore not allow you to continue in your spiritual growth. I have personally only taken a few. And those few that I have taken are still a part of me. But they do not bind my spiritual growth. They do not bind my advancement. If anything, they help me and strengthen me. They become part of my foundations. And they allow me to see clearly. And they also allow me to know when I'm stepping outside that boundary of that oath that I had set, and help steer me back so I can continue my work and my growth. And as you will find with everything we do, it is how we word it and what energy we give to it, how much meaning we give it that gives it its power. There is another kind of oaths that we take and swear upon. I'll say some of the oaths that people enter the temple for, that's sworn to the angel Israel, which is unbreakable, unbinding, and woe to he that, or she that thinks they can break it. But those are the most sacred oaths. They're not taken lightly. But they have been misused from some temples and orders. And always trust your inner self, that inner voice inside you, when taking or being prompted to take an oath. If something don't feel right about it, don't take it. Because remember, by doing such, you are, in a sense, binding yourself to something, to some thing, or some entity, or person, where in truth, it should only be you that you bind such things to. As I stated, small oaths like practicing every day. Those are good for our development, good for practicing with those. But remember, it's a part of you, and it'll be a part of your life till the end. And when and you stray away from that and think you no longer need to practice like that every day, you're going to feel the effects of that oath. That's where the difference is between a magical name. A magical name we can change. I've kept mine for, since 2000? No, since 98. But yet I have others that I've started to go by. Actually, just one more. As I've grown, I've seen a difference. I've seen a change that the previous persona would be in conflict with. But yet, at the same instance, that other persona has a meaning and a purpose. It's still a tool at my disposal and a useful one. It is still part of me. In a sense, that's how I look at magical names, or personas, or aspects of ourselves. So as most people know me now, they know me either by two names, Smiley or Drew. And I will answer to either name. It's on you to figure out which persona I'm in. Although, no matter which persona I'm in, I still have aspects of both. That is an advantage there. But we can take those same principles and apply them to certain oaths as well. By how we word them and how we give them meaning and power. But one must have the mind state, the knowledge and wisdom to understand that part where in the beginning you do not know, you don't understand. So yes, I'm kind of cutting out the middleman here. I'm not only speaking to those who are advanced, I'm also speaking to the beginner as a warning of taking certain oaths and vows. I don't think a beginner, personally, should ever take an oath or a vow. Not until after they've done for a couple years after they went through the process of the destruction of the temple, starting to really know themselves, to where they freed themselves of most of the things that have bound them, to where their will is more free. Them taking an oath might be advisable. It might be needed at that point in their growth. So yes, I differ from some of the orders and temples on my ideas of the magical oath on that aspect. I don't think a beginner should take an oath. I've never made any of my students take an oath. Not of secrecy or nothing. Because in truth, a beginner student, I am not going to take into a ritual circle until after they completed the destruction of their temple. I want them to be aware and understanding before allowing them to step there. I actually want them to practice and do their own solitarily and learn from the experience they're got. So I'm not going to teach them things that could bring them harm, physically or mentally. Things that will challenge them, yes. Things that they could screw up and fail at, because there's lessons to be learned there. Just like when I explain the magical oath systems to them. This is how I explain them to them, as I'm explaining them to you. You know, each of us are gifted in our own ways. But I've found it that we've allowed ourselves to be hindered and bound by such things as well, to where it starts to hinder the generations to come. So in a sense, I'm breaking tradition. But yet I'm not. I'm just reverting back to the old ways of doing things, the true old traditions. Because we also have to realize with magical oaths, certain types, even the littlest ones of practicing every day. We live life in a way that things come up out of nowhere, that will test us and challenge us on these things. So even that little oath can have major effects and impacts on your psyche, on your mind, on your body. If you fail to do that oath, if you stray from it, it will happen. It happens to all of us. It's like megalomania. We're all guilty of it. Don't care who you are. Don't say you're not. We all get the God complex. Why? Because when we do magic, when we perform ritual magic, or natural magic, or any type, when we start dealing with those energies, it becomes a euphoric high. All that energy flowing through us, even well after the magical act. And then you start wanting to do more, because you want to keep that feeling. And while you're at feeling, you feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof. So, and when we reach those states, sometimes it's those magical oaths that helps bring us back down to earth. It's a little slap of reality. So yes, some oaths play a very important role in our spiritual path. But make sure when you take them, there's something that you can live with for the rest of your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's just something that I felt the need to bring to you guys. As we continue with these discussions, I'm going to bring you many things, many topics, many ideas. I just posted a video today of some more of the topics we'll be covering. And those are just a few. People actually that are following me now has actually followed us since 2011 when we were actually publishing a magazine. These article topics are from the magazine. They're something that's part of us, part of our everyday lives that we bring to you and share with you. Some of the discussion topics will only be monthly. Some will just be when the need is. Like I said, I'm going to offer you a bunch of different genres, and there's still a bunch that I have not added, but they will be coming before the year's out, and they will be added to KOTR as we expand our audience, expand ourselves to bring you guys stuff that's part of all of our everyday lives, just not in the magical sense or the esoteric sense. But I would slowly introduce them, and for those that would like to take part and help out, you want to contribute, feel free to message me. All are welcome. I'm giving you guys a space and a place to share your ideas, views, opinions, to share your work. That's always been the purpose of KOTR. And will continue to be the purpose. A place to give you all a voice, where you can speak freely on the subjects that matter most to you. We live in a beautiful time, even though it doesn't look so beautiful. But yet it is. We're more freer than we've ever been. We can be more open than we've ever been. So in a sense, back in 2009, I, in a sense, took a magical oath and give people places where they can come and be themselves, surround themselves with other like-minded people, and not have fear of repercussions. Because fear has no place in our society, in our communities. So, in closing, I'd like to show you where you can find some of my stuff. Most of my stuff, anything that I post on YouTube or have written will be here from here on out. Using YouTube for the live broadcast. I'm going to post the stuff here on KOTR. Wordpress. It's a WordPress blog site I got. So anytime I do a live stream, you can come here to view it. Come to YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. The links are in the description. You know, at least when if you guys subscribe to the blogs, you'll get notifications. Subscribe to this channel, you'll get notifications when I go live. Plus, it gives you a way to places where you can contact me as well if you got a question or just like to talk. I am opening everything up to you guys. I've put a little work into this. I've been building websites and other things for a while now, like I said. And so, as I learn the softwares and stuff I'm working on, I bring it to you guys. If you guys want help setting up your own, I'm willing to help with that. It's about giving back to our communities. Communities become stronger together. So as you guys can see, most of my latest stuff is updated. stream I did last night. Just posted it an hour ago. As I started a new stream, live broadcast. So, like I said, check these places out. Links are in the description. Like the videos, share them. Got ideas for something you want to hear about? Leave a comment. And I will respond back either way. If it's a topic I don't know, I will take the time, find somebody that does, and let them bring it to you or point you in the right direction. Guys, knowledge is free. I've been blessed to meet a bunch of people throughout various communities. So as you guys can see, it's all about health. This channel is going to be all about you guys. Do I benefit from it? Yes. By interacting with you guys, talking, answering comments, we learn from each other. In the end, that's what it's about. And for those of you in the communities that's got your own little business, you'd like it advertised, send me some images and pictures with a description, and throughout the videos, I'll plug them. Anything that helps our communities, I will support. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I wish you guys all a good night. Tomorrow night, I'll be streaming at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the subject will be on one of my little favorite ones, actually, meditation. What is the purpose of meditation? How it applies in the occult? I will be introducing the meditation section of our broadcast. Tonight, I don't know if I'm going to do it live. I might record it, but be on the lookout for a tarot one. I'll be doing monthly correspondence. Those will probably not be live streamed. They'll be recorded and uploaded at the beginning of each month. Sometimes I might do some topics on them live for streams. But like I said, you'll be able to find them on the YouTube channels every section, like knowledge and principles, past and disciplines. They'll have their own little playlist, and that's what it'll be in. So you guys can actually keep track and follow them. By the end of the year, you'll have a monthly correspondence, a monthly tarot. Which are important tools in our practice. So I'm looking forward to getting those started. So that's some of the stuff that's upcoming from us. Hope you guys enjoyed. Good night, guys.